Hi, this is Tim Brunson, and I'm here today either on Facebook Live, Facebook pre-recorded, YouTube, Twitter, to share with you what's going on in my life as a audiobook producer. In a few minutes, I will start a new book, which is kind of sort of unique because I've already recorded all three elements of this trilogy called the Confederated Worlds. In fact, Take the Shilling, the first book, was the first book I ever recorded. These three books are by an author named Raymund Eich, who is by far one of my favorite, if not the favorite, science fiction author that I've read. Raymund is a real-life scientist living in Houston. His books have a tinge of, not a tinge, have a big dollop of credibility because he is a real-life scientist. But his writing style really intrigues me. He's kind of like a Ray Bradbury in his style as far as the relevance of what he writes. And I also pick up a sense of the emotion and struggle that you would get out of a George Lucas film. And then the societal relevance of what he writes reminds me of Charles Dickens. That's why I really like this author. Take the Shilling. Well, let me go back. Let's talk about the series itself. These three novels are set in a universe which Analog magazine called unusual among military science fiction for its concentration on the psychology and politics of societies in conflict. It's set 1,000 years from now while Earth sleeps in a virtual reality. The three polities, the Confederated Worlds, the Unity, and the Progressive Republic, strive to connect the scattered terraformed worlds of humankind by artificial wormholes. When they meet, they clash. In a decades-long struggle of arms embroiled the settled galaxy, in which dedication to duty liberates worlds and oneself. The first book, Take the Shilling. It all centers on a young man who is getting ready to what we would call graduate from high school, the lycée in French terminology. And he decides to join the military. It's got some father abandonment issues because his father abandoned him when he's 8, so he's trying to become a man in his own right, despite the fact that his mother is a minister, and it's totally against him joining the military. So the backdrop is this interstellar war between the three entities, the three polities that exist. The book's got a really nice twist at the end. Operation Iago, by that point in time, Private Neumann is now a lieutenant, and it's kind of like a spy novel to a large extent. A lot of deception. You're trying to figure out, well, who is the mole? Who's the plant? And you could see the conflict. This is not a book where the good guys necessarily win. In fact, the Confederated Worlds has lost the war, which leads to, after the treaty, the book called A Bodyguard of Lies, where now Captain Neumann is not because of his own desires, is stuck in the center of power in the Confederation, and has the conflict between his training and his morals, and knows that if he doesn't make a very hard decision, a lot of bad things are going to happen. It's got a very strong moral twist. Very, very enjoyable read. I'm looking forward to rereading this because as I do books, I really get into them. I become emotionally immersed in the book. Another book that actually is already on sale on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes is Fire and Ice by William Graham. And this book, a little bit over 4 hours in length. It's a nice murder mystery set in Iowa. There's a series of murders in a small town. a newspaper man becomes a reluctant sleuth, and he unravels the interconnected deaths. And in the process, he rekindles a romance and has his faith tested. The interesting thing about this book is that you're always looking past the red herrings to find out, well, who is the murderer? And it kind of surprises you at the end. Very good book. It's by William Graham, the author of the critically acclaimed works, the Red Planet trilogy. Also a very good book. A book that just came out last Friday, Chump D Dumpty. I have to admit that if you're one of the 15 million people who voted for Donald Trump, you're not going to enjoy this book. For the other 85% of America that didn't vote for them at this point, vote for him at this point, you may enjoy this. Jenny Graham Scott is a blogging columnist for the Huffington Post. So the book is basically a combination of her, or an anthology of her blog articles, where she addresses some of the psychological issues. Jenny Scott rather, is a real-life PhD sociologist, so she's got a little bit of twist others may not have. So let's bring this back to, hi, this is me, and I hope you enjoyed that. This is the first time I've ever used this technology for anything live, anything real, and I'm hoping you enjoyed it. I'll keep you apprised if I can about the progress on the Confederated Worlds as I slug through the 220,000 words in this book, and I'm looking for that to be, Confederated Worlds should be available sometime in early November. A lot of reading. So the big problem is I lose my voice sometimes when I read day in and day out. 220,000 words is a lot of words, believe me. Believe me, it sounds like Donald Trump. Believe me, folks. So if you're interested in, if you'd like to leave me a comment on Facebook or on YouTube or on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, I'll do my best to get back with you. And if you're interested in finding out more about the books that I have, here's some information. You can go to books.infinosmedia.com, or you can like my page that's called Tim Brunson Audiobooks on Facebook. You can also go to the Infinos Media YouTube channel, and I'll post these videos there as well. So for now, this is Tim Brunson signing off, and have a great day, and see you later, dudes.